summer of 2021, the world was captivated by the story of a young woman's journey, one that began as an exciting adventure across the American West and ended in a tragedy. This is the story of Gabby Petito. Gabrielle Venora Petito was born March 19, 1999 in Blue Point, New York. She had 6 siblings. Gabby was also a travel blogger. She was documenting her cross-country road trip with her fiancé Brian Laundrie. When Gabby stopped posting on social media, her family began to worry. What began as a missing persons case would soon unravel into something much deeper. How did a seemingly perfect journey across the country go so horribly wrong? And what happened to Gabby Petito? In 2013, Gabby and her brothers appeared in a music video to raise awareness about the American gun violence in response to the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting. She graduated Bayport Blue Point High School in New York in 2017, where she met Brian Christopher Laundrie. During September 2017 to January 2019, she lived in Carolina Beach, North Carolina, where she worked as a hostess. Gabby started dating Brian in March of 2019. She moved in with him and his parents in Northport, Florida. While in Northport, Brian worked at a Publix in the grocery department, and Gabby worked in the pharmacy department. They both quit their jobs during COVID. Early 2020, they embarked on a cross-country road trip from New York to California. They visited places like Las Vegas, Yosemite National Park, Pismo Beach, and other points of interest. Later in March of 2020, Gabby celebrated her 21st birthday. She celebrated it in Florida. In June 2020, Gabby and Brian visited Soap Creek, Georgia, and then they were engaged the following month. Later in December 2020, Gabby purchased a 2012 Ford Transit Connect van and converted it into a camper. The couple would take their next cross-country trip with the camper. She began working 50-hour weeks at a Taco Bell as a nutritionist to save money for the trip, and Brian took a job at an organic juice bar. Gabby also documented her life on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. On July 17, 2021, Gabby and Brian visited her brother at Blue Point for his graduation. Then, on July 2, 2021, they both left Blue Point in their camper van to start their trip. They visited monument parks, the Great Sand Dunes National Park and Preserve, Zion National Park, Bryce Canyon National Park, Mystic Hot Springs, and Canyonlands National Park. August 12, 2021, a witness called 911 to report that they seen a couple at the Moonflower Community Center in Moab, Utah, fighting. They said that they saw a man slapped a woman, then the man and the woman ran up and down the sidewalk, and then the man hit the woman again before they drove off together. But another witness described the incident differently to the police. They said that the man and the woman, which was Gabby and Brian, were talking aggressively and that Gabby was punching him in the arm. They also said it looked like Brian was trying to leave Gabby behind and that he was trying to take her phone with him. The witness also said before they drove off together, Gabby jumped into the driver's seat and then moved into the passenger seat so that Brian could drive. Then Gabby said to Brian, "Why do you have to be so mean?" The Moab Police Department identified the van because it was driving erratically near the entrance to Arches National Park. They conducted a traffic stop in which they found Gabby crying a lot in the passenger seat of the camper. The police body cam footage showed that she told the police, "Yeah, I don't know if some days I have really bad OCD. I was just cleaning and straightening up back in the." I was apologizing to him and saying, "I'm sorry that I'm so mean because sometimes I have OCD and sometimes I can get really frustrated." Not like mean towards him. I just, my vibe is I'm in a bad mood. And I was just saying, I'm sorry if I'm in a bad mood. I just, I had so much work I was doing on my computer this morning, and I I just now quit my job to travel across the country, and I'm trying to start a blog. I have a blog. So I've been building my website. I've been really stressed, and he doesn't really believe that I could do any of it. So we've just been fighting all morning, and he wouldn't let me get in the car before. Brian told the officers, I said, "Let's just take a breather and let's not go anywhere and just calm down for a minute." She was getting worked up, and then she had her phone and was trying to get the keys from me. I was just trying to, I know, I shouldn't have pushed her. I was just trying to push her away to go. Let's take a minute and step back and breathe and see. She got me with her phone. At first, Gabby downplayed the physical altercation, but then the police told her to just be honest. She then told the police that Brian kept telling her to shut up and he grabbed her face, which caused an injury. The police also pointed out marks on her arms and face. Gabby told the officers that she was the one to hit Brian first. She also asked the officers to not separate them. In one of the reports, the officer said, "At no point in my investigation did Gabrielle stop crying, breathing heavily, or compose a sentence without needing to wipe away tears, wipe her nose, or rub her knees with her hands." The male tried to create distance by telling Gabby to take a walk to calm down. She did not want to separate from the male and began slapping him. He grabbed her face and pushed her back as she pressed upon him and the van. Neither of them wanted to press charges, so the police categorized the incident as a mental breakdown rather than a domestic violence, which would have led to an arrest. The police then separated the couple and arranged that Brian spend the night at a hotel and that Gabby stays in the van. On August 17th, Brian took a flight from Salt Lake City to Tampa, Florida, leaving Gabby behind. Gabby spent several days at the Fairfield Inn and Suite Hotel near Salt Lake City International Airport. She checked in August 24th. It was later explained that Brian went to Florida to obtain some items and empty a storage unit to save money as they contemplate extending the road trip. Brian returned on August 23rd to continue the trip. Gabby's mother said that she last spoke to Gabby on August 25th and had been told that the couple were traveling from Utah to the Yellowstone National Park. Also on that day, the final post was made on Gabby's Instagram account. The photos were taken in front of a butterfly mural outside a restaurant in Utah. On August 27th, Gabby and Brian were filmed by a CCTV at a Whole Foods store in Jackson, Wyoming. They arrived at the parking lot at 2:11 p.m. and entered the store at 2:14 p.m. before exiting at 2:30 p.m. and heading back into the van. After about 20 minutes, of sitting in the van, they drove away and got on Highway 89, where they headed to their campsite at 2:56 p.m. That was the last time that Gabby was seen alive. On August 27th, a text from Gabby's phone was sent to her mother that read, "Can you help Stan? I just keep getting his voicemails and missed calls." The message raised concerns for Gabby's mother, who said that Stan was Gabby's grandfather and that she never referred to him by his first name. The last message sent on August 30th simply said, "No service in Yosemite." Her mother expressed uncertainties about who sent those messages. On August 29th, Brian called his mother, and as their conversation was brought to an end, his tone completely changed. After that, Brian's father contacted him back, and Brian told them that Gabby was gone and that he may need a lawyer. On September 1st, Brian returned alone to his parents' home in Northport in the Ford Transit Connect camper. And on September 6th and 7th, he and his parents went on a camping trip. On September 11th, after not hearing from Gabby, her mother filed a missing persons report. 4 days later, Brian was named a person of interest. His parents hired a lawyer, and he remained silent and refused to talk to anyone about the case. Police surveilled his residence and saw him leave on September 13th. 2 days later, they saw his car return. Police believe that the person who exited the car and entered the home was indeed Brian. On September 17th, Brian was reported missing by his family, who claimed they haven't seen him since September 13th. Police also obtained a search warrant and seized the Ford Transit Connect, an external hard drive, and Brian's family Ford Mustang. On September 19, human remains matching the description of Gabby were found at a Spread Creek dispersed camping area in Wyoming. Her identity was confirmed, and an autopsy determined that the manner of her unalive was homicide by blunt force injuries to the head and neck with manual strangulation. Then, on September 23rd, the United States District Court for the District of Wyoming issued an arrest warrant for Brian due to his unauthorized use of Gabby's debit card to obtain $1,000 between August 30th and September 1st. On October 20th, Brian's skeleton remains and some of his belongings were found in the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park, in an area that had recently been underwater due to flooding. His cause of unalive was due to a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. On January 21st, 2022, the FBI revealed that Brian had a notebook which was found near his remains. It contained an entry in which he admitted to unaliving Gabby and deceiving people that she was still alive via text messages. The authorities officially blamed Brian for the unalive of Gabby Petito. The FBI Denver division closed the investigation and stated the investigation did not identify any other individuals other than Brian Laundrie directly involved in the tragic unalive of Gabby Petito. The FBI's primary focus throughout the investigation was to bring justice to Gabby and her family. In June 2022, Brian's family lawyer released a full notebook entry in which Brian claimed to have unalived Gabby after she had fallen and injured herself. He said, "I ended her life. I thought it was merciful, that it is what she wanted, but now I see all the mistakes I made. I am ending my life, not because of fear of punishment, but rather because I can't stand to live another day without her. Experts believe that Brian's account does not match investigators' finding. They said Brian was someone who doesn't want to own up to what he did and was just trying to find justifications for the actions he did. I would love to hear your theories. Here are some theories on Reddit. I've been studying true crime for about 25 years now, and Gabby's case is one of the saddest I've ever seen. She seems so gentle and optimistic and sweet. I wish I could just give her a hug. Another user said, I think she was mentally unstable and had dreams of quick stardom that didn't pan out. I don't think he was the promoter of this search for quick fame without life goals. I think her family was severely dysfunctional, and that's why she was desperate to get away. No victim blaming at all. It is very sad that she was unalived by him. However, I believe there is so much more that meets the eye regarding the backstory. I believe his parents took her in, like a lost puppy, because that's what I believe she was. A girl searching for a family because hers was non existent. I believe his family gave her a place to feel embraced, and they are not to blame for anything. One person is to blame for her demise, and that's Brian Laundrie. The end. Here's the last one. I wish he would have been apprehended immediately. I wish he would have had to sit in jail with his crime. I am so resentful of the fact that he got away with this by the route he took. Let me know your theories in the comments. As always, this is Mona Reeds.